Alright, Shalom, Shalom. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akim out there, spreading this truth like wildfire. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners who look like the other nations, but their spirit bears witness that they're the children of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. And Shalom to the real sisters out there. Alright, I titled this live El Finito El Duce. Well, I didn't say El Duce, I said Parte Duce, because this would be part two of that live that I did earlier, El Finito, about the end, because we at the very end, and the signs are all around us, you know. And this probably might be, the last one, but last part also. But yeah, we at the very end. We at the very end of this man's society. We at the end. We at the end of this devil's rulership, this devil's queendom. And while I was doing this live, on my phone was while I was doing part one. I actually, got that notification about the Capitol attacks, but I had it in my life because I didn't have no access to a charger. But yeah, that's another sign that we at the end. Esau, he's building his case against the Akim. That when you really look at it, when you really take a look at it, Esau is he's creating that narrative. He's creating that boogeyman, like a brother said on Mysteries of the Kingdom live, Mysteries of the Kingdom, the trilogy. Yeah, I believe that's was on. Yeah, Mysteries of the Kingdom, the trilogy is live. He's setting that that narrative. He's creating that narrative about us. And these devils. Hey, we not ignorant of these devils' devices, man. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. This is why, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, because, this devil, he doesn't come straightforward with this shit, This devil, he uses gradualism. He uses propaganda. He uses false flags to push his agenda. He doesn't just say, oh, I'm passing a law saying Hebrew Israelites, or, well, he'll use the term be black identity extremists. He used that term, to demonize us. He doesn't come out there and just say, okay, black identity extremists are banned. He doesn't just do that. Esau, he uses gradualism. He passes laws that are very vague, so that he can include us in that. To what he does. He's a very sneaky man. This devil, he's very crafty. Shalom, Fish Return Hunter Amos 911. Yahba Shimi Al Shai Brakata. This devil, he's making his move. And yeah, let me get that crafty counsel. Let me get that preset, because This is a result of years of crafty counsel by this devil to try to basically to formulate a plot to demonize our people, demonize the Akim specifically. Psalms 83, verse 1, keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, hold not thou peace and be not still, O Yahweh. Verse 2, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Verse 3, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. And what are these hidden ones? It's Yasharallah. Our identity has been hidden for so long. Our history has been hidden for so long. We a lot of us are even hidden among the heathen. You have Israelite foreigners, speckled birds, that look like the heathen, but they're not. They're not heathens. They go back to Yasharallah. Their bloodline, their father's bloodline, goes back to a so-called black man, a Latino man, or a Native American man. So we are hidden, in every way possible. We're hidden among these very heathens, that are plotting against us. Verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And the elect are in that secret place of the Most High, which is, it's a lot of ways that we're hidden, but yeah, this is what they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel maybe no more in remembrance. They want to cut us off from being a nation. They want to cut us off from being a people. They want to cut us off from being a nation. They don't want the name of Yasharallah, really. They don't want the name of Yasharallah to be no more in remembrance. This is their goal. And verse 5, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The definition of a conspiracy. A group of people plotting to do evil, to do wickedness. That's what these devils are doing, right along with these other heathen nations. That's just an affliction I'm dealing with. It's actually painful dealing with a very painful affliction. It's not that thorn in my flesh. A very painful affliction. Yeah, and let's go into what some of these nations are. And who's this top nation on that list? Who's the top nation on that list? Verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes. So Edom, the so-called white man, the Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabs of Moab, the so-called Chinese, and the Hagarenes, the ancient Egyptians, which are so-called Africans. Verse 7, Gebal and Ammon, Gebal, more so-called Africans, more Hamites. That's they're indigenous Africans. They're actually Hamites. They're a different nation of people from you so-called black people. And Ammon, that's the so-called Japanese. And Amalek, now that's the chief house of Esau. That's like they're like a whole nation, a whole separate nation within Esau Edom. Even the other Edomites look at them that way. They'd be the Ish, the synagogue of Satan, chief house of Satan. 1948 is in our land. the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, more so-called Africans. Verse 8, Ashur is also joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot, Salah. So all these nations, Ashur, would be your modern day people of northern Iraq and parts of Syria. All these, so all these nations headed up by none other than the Esau Edom, the so-called white man, have been and are conspiring to do away with us as a people. And specifically do away with the name of Yasharallah. And so our people waking up to their true identity, it's a real threat to them. It's a real threat to them. As as illustrated in Ezekiel chapter 37. Let me get that. Them. That entire chapter goes in. Ezekiel 37 verse 1, the hand of Yahweh was upon me, and it carried me out in the spirit of Yahweh, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones. Verse 2, and caused me to pass by them round about, and behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. Verse 3, and he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord Yahweh, thou knowest. Verse 4, again he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of Yahweh. Verse 5, thus say Yahweh power unto these bones. Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. Verse 6, and I will lay sinews upon you, and I will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath upon you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh. Verse 7, so I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. Verse 8, and when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came up upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. So this is the different Israelites, the different tribes of Yasharallah, realizing that they are the same people, basically, and that they are under curses, and then, etc., right? That so-called white man, is oppressing all of them. Oh, Shalom, Ak. Shalom, Akil, Malak. Long time no see. Yahba Shem Shai Brakata. Shout out to all you sincere Akim and Akwat out there. Yeah, so, Yasharallah come together as a people, but still, there was no breath in them, meaning that breath of life. Meaning they ain't got the name, meaning the essentials, law, statutes, and commandments, the name, all that, right? Verse 9, though, then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, son of man, and say to the wind, thus say Yahweh power, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. Verse 10, so I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army. So you can already see why these fucking heathens, fear us coming back to our power, come back to a knowledge of who we are, and our heritage, which includes who our power is. Verse 11, then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dry, and our hope is lost, and we are cut off for our parts. Because our people have been through, they've been lost, been left out to dry, high and dry. Our people have been left high and dry, wherever they've been scattered to, especially in this place, Babylon the Great. under these curses, just languishing, right? Judah languisheth in the gates mourn. Verse 12, therefore prophesy and say to them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. Verse 13, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh, when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you out of your graves. Verse 14, and ye shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live. Now I shall place you in your own land, and ye know that I, Yahweh, have spoken it and performed it, saith Yahweh. So, because we've been in a dead state of mind, in that lowest state, hell, the grave, Sheol, right? And in that dead state of mind, and who the 2/3 are referred to as what? The congregation of the dead. For whosoever wandereth out of the place of understanding shall, I believe it goes somewhat like that, shall remain in the congregation of the dead. And it shows you. Yeah, Khan, Proverbs 2:13, who leave the path. Well, you get the point. You get the point. So, 2/3, they're that congregation of the dead. They're in the graves. But the 1/3 have been brought out of the graves. And that itself is a sign of this place going down. That itself is causing this place to go down. Verse 15, the word of Yahweh came again unto me, saying, verse 16, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah, and for the children of Israel his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel his companions. Verse 17, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. Verse 18, and when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? Verse 19, say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel his fellows, and will put them with them, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand. Yeah, that's the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, which, the northern kingdom, that's the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom coming back together, which also scares these people, also scares these heathens and these devils, has them shook. Verse 20, and the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thine hand before their eyes. Shalom Achu, New Jerusalem 144. Wow, oh, you got a second channel. Shalom Achu. Yahba Shim Yah Shabrak, Shout out to all y'all. Verse 21, and say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land. Verse 20, and I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and there shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. Verse 27, neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions, but I will save them out of all their dwelling places where they have sinned, and will cleanse them, so shall they be my people, and I will be their power. Hey, so, it's this is what these devils fear, man. This is what got these devils staying up at night. So now, since our people are waking up to who they are, and not just the original looking tribes, but also the Israelite foreigners. Now Esau, he's he's trying to link us up to Islam. No, he been trying to do that. But now he's trying to say we're the threat. A brother actually brought out that during the Trump administration, the number one threat to the FBI was who they call black identity extremists, which they're referring to the Akim, really, because the Nation of Islam doesn't expose who this man really is. None of these other movements expose who this man really is. So, of course they're gonna, want to take us out. But you know how Esau is, he's very vague with this terminology. So he's gonna get them along with us. Anyone who says, basically pushes out that so-called black people are the real Jews, basically, and is zealous about that, basically. So even someone like me who has my type of skin complexion, would not be considered a so-called black man or a so-called Latino. Hey, even the Northern Kingdom, Akim, they're included in that as well because of Esau's broad terminology. So this was another false flag that Esau had in his, basically in his sleeves, right? He had some shit up his sleeves, and this was it. Another false flag, because this is what Esau does. He creates an event, and he blames it on a group of people that he wants to demonize. And so this time, who he wanted to demonize, and actually, we're like his number one targets because we're exposing who this man is. Like we're them two witnesses exposing who this man is. And this devil, man, like I believe the elders from Mysteries of the Kingdom, the trilogy, like they brought out, if a criminal has someone that's a witness against them, and they are testifying against them, that criminal, he want to take that witness out. So it's just the same shit going on here. This devil, he wants to shut us up. We're not over here telling people to take up arms. We actually teach against that. But because, hey, also the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. But what is Esau's weapon of warfare? The sword. So Esau can't fight against us. Esau, basically, we can't drag us down to his level. There you go. To where he can fight against us. Because his weapons are carnal, and our weapons are spiritual. I mean, you can't fight against spiritual weapons with carnal weapons. And that's why we're the number one threat. And the other people that was on the list was up there was animal activists, and basically people who anti-authority extremists or whatever. Basically your sovereign citizens. So yeah, we're that real threat, but not because we're telling people to take up arms, but because our weapons of warfare are spiritual, not carnal. And we are exposing who this man really is. And I got some more precepts bringing, that shows you that it's in Revelation chapter 11, and it shows you that these devils and these heathens, they're shook. Revelation 11. Hold up, I'm actually going to start. Oh yeah, just Revelation 11, verse 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yahweh entered into them, And they stood on their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. There you go. That's what's happening after those 3 days, which that's all symbolic for that period of captivity that we've been under. We've been dead. We've been dead. We've been verse 8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. That's what we've been at, lying in the street of the great city. Like the bulls in lines up with that bulls in the net scripture. They lie at the basically at the head of all the streets, basically, like at the corners, full of the fury of the Most High Yahweh. Paraphrasing that verse. So our people, we've been we've been we've been spiritually dead. Verse 9, and they, the people and kindreds and tongues and nations, is also they didn't tell us who we was, shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. They didn't tell us who we was. In fact, they kept that knowledge from us. This is why they're shook. Verse 10, and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. King David, an example of that. Come on, King David and the house of David gave these heathens and these devils, especially these devils, pure hell. Solomon, that was the era of peace, but still, they had to submit. And there was other Israelite kings that rose up, especially, of Judah, but hey, really specifically is talking about King David and the house of David, which was from all 12 tribes, of course, because the house of David is being risen back up. Hey, and also something else, you got to mention the Moors, and the Israelites rulership during the so-called Dark Ages. That as well. We was a terror unto these Edomites, and we was a terror unto Moab and unto Ham. Because we ruled parts of Africa, especially in the west, and you look into it, the Shang dynasty was made up of both southern and northern kingdoms. So also that, there's also other moments, but hey, King David and the house of David, that was the height of that terror. And the house of David is being risen back up again, Amos 9:11. And that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I'll raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. How is the house of David built in the days of old? Self-explanatory. Verse 12, that they may possess the remnant of Edom, and of all the heathen which are called by my name, saith Yahweh that doeth this. So this is why they are so shook, because they know that they're through. Whenever our people wake up, and all it takes is 1/3. And whenever the 1/3 are completely awoken, they know that that's their ass. Verse 13, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that soweth seed, and the mountain shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. The reaper, those devils and those heathens that have been reaping the fruits of our labor, but gave us no, made no account for our labors. Instead, calling us, making us out to be lazy, drug addicted pieces of shit as a nation. And also furthering these curses and pushing that lifestyle upon us, so that our people would actually embrace that, and they could further demonize us. Verse 14, and I will bring again the captivity of my people of Israel, and they shall build the waste cities, and inhabit them. And they shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof. They shall make gardens and eat the fruit thereof. The curse is reversed. But, hey, just as the curses will be reversed for us, the blessings will be reversed for Esau and these heathens. From blessings to curses for them. They fear that. Verse 15, and I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their land, which I have given them, saith the Lord Yahweh, thy power. Yeah, that's us what they fear, because once we in that land, we in rulership, ain't no going back. The saints have possessed the kingdom. Yeah. So this is why these devils are shook, and they're trying to stop it now. They know their time is short, so they moving quick. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devils come down unto you, having great wrath, because he know that he had but a short time. Verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child. This devil sees that his power is waning, that his strength is failing. His blessing, is not like his deception, right? His witchcraft is not working. This devil is being exposed on all levels. And so what is this devil going to do? He's going to resort to his old blessing. He's going to resort to that sword. And that's what you see Esau setting the stage for. He can call us terrorists and then send the dogs in. That's what he's doing. Hey, be like in that psalm, where it talks about for dogs that have compassed me. We're gonna be dogs that are gonna compass us. Those are precepts. They're starting to compass us. I'm gonna look up that precept, so don't be alarmed. Don't let the screen being the way it is get to you. For dogs have compassed me, which it first applied to Yahweh Shai, because they first compassed Yahweh Shai, but the servant ain't greater than the master. Psalms 22:16. So what Yahweh Shai went through, we're gonna go through. Psalms 22:16. Yahweh Ratazah would be those men. Always gotta say that. But we are the hopeful elect. Yeah, verse 16. For dogs have compassed me, the assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They pierced my hands and my feet. First applying to Yahweh Shai, they actually did that to him. Crucified him, But Esau was gonna come after the elect, man, those who have that testimony of a Mashiach. And that's also in chapter 12 of Revelation. Revelation chapter 12, verse 17, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Yahweh and had to have testimony of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. So they basically, they're gonna do they're gonna seek to put us to death, and some of us they're gonna put to death. Some of us are gonna have to die for this thing. It's true. Yeah. Hold on. Afflictions. Luke chapter 21, verse 12. But before all these, because this happened before too, during the time of the Romans. But, what basically, Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verses not verse 9, I believe. Yeah, it says that what happened before, basically, that's gonna happen again. The thing that happened is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there's no new thing under the sun. So we're in Rome all over again. They're the same people. They're those Romans all over again, and so they're gonna do the same shit to Hamashiachim like they did before. Verse 12, but before all these they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you to the synagogue and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. Verse 13, and they shall turn to you for a testimony. Verse 14, settle therefore in your hearts not to meditate before which ye shall answer, because, hey, verse 15, for I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay and resist. Verse 16, and ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinsfolk, folks and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death. There you go. Verse 17, and ye shall be hated of all men for my sake. Ye shall be hated of all men. Demonized in the media, called terrorists. Think about it. This is just a series of events. I mean, just one other event that they're blaming it on our people, blaming it on well, what Esau's trying to do with this, okay? Right now he's saying that, the Nation of Islam, they're the problem. But the Nation of Islam is headed up by who? A Farrakhan, right? And we know he's an agent, we know he's set up, we know about all that. But he has said that so-called black people, they're Israelites. So there you go. And these devils have been trying to link us to Islam. You had a Agent Baloney, Agent Riser, right? aka Agent Baloney. You had him try to basically compare us to the Nation of Islam. Agent Riser on the case, man. You had him try to link us to Islam, and they've been trying to do that. You do your digging. IUIC, what do they list themselves as? Islamic organization. So it's all there. We all know, We all know Bishop Nate, he's a cop, he's a detective. So we all know, it's set up to demonize us, to say that we're Muslims somehow. And so, they're setting us up to be called terrorists, extremists, the next boogeyman, and just how Ishmael was, Ishmaelites were getting basically targeted, were getting hated on because after 9/11, you have the same thing gonna happen to Jake. Not just and it wasn't just radical Islam or whatever, people that was radical Islamists that was being targeted. It was Ishmaelites, period, Ishmaelites and Muslims, period. So you could see, any Jake, especially a Jake that believes he's an Israelite, right? Has that knowledge. They're gonna be demonized. But hey, the men of GMS and like-minded Akim and sisters who believe, be demonized even heavier. We're calling for the destruction of this place. Verse 18, hey, you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. You go back to the Jersey shooting, which was another false flag. They had Yahushua is coming written. There were signs posted saying Yahushua is coming. and the news said that it was so-called anti-Semitic, anti-Semitic, which is really Shemitic, but we know these devils. But these devils, they say Semitic. So this this is literally gonna come to pass, being hated of all men for Yahweh Shai's sake. Verse 18, but there shall not an hair of your head perish, because, yeah, some of us are going to be martyrs, but not all of us. Not all of us, because the Most High Yahweh, He's going to raise that standard. And so, the majority, are, we may be thrown in FEMA camps, but the majority are going to be delivered. Because, yeah, they slayed the prophets before, but, they're only going to be able to do so much this time. The Most High Yahweh is going to preserve His elect. Hey, and even the ones that do get put to death, they're coming back. They're coming back. You're going to come back with Yahweh Shai in the chariot and get beamed up first. Yeah, Isaiah 59:19, so shall they fear the name of Yahweh from the west, and His glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against them. Verse 20, and the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob, saith Yahweh. Yep. That is a way that He is going to redeem us, raising up that standard. It's like a wall that's going to be raised. 144-foot high vibranium wall. That flood is going to hit a 144-foot high vibranium wall. Think about it like that. Not going to be able to get through it. Impenetrable. Yeah. So yeah, that persecution is coming. And also, hey, also something else, that George Floyd trial is going on. And I was watching the elder from South Carolina's live that he does on the news, and they were saying that George Floyd, he had he was on heroin. He was an opioid addict. He was an opioid addict. So they could use that to say, oh, see, the cop didn't kill him. He died of a opioid overdose. Which we know that Salakia. I accidentally pressed that button. That screensaver button. We know that's a setup, It was his own girl basically saying that he had struggled with opioid abuse, so they could use that. It'd be like, see, we didn't murder him. We didn't murder him. He died of an opioid overdose. And that could be used to pardon George Floyd, which could lead to a lot of shit. Could lead to a race war. Esau could be setting the narrative, Slakia, y'all. Esau could be setting the narrative. He could have this happen. Have there would be riots after, like there was before, and then he could have agent provocateurs among the rioters do some wild shit. Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised, and have one of them dressed up as an Israelite. Have one of them wearing fringes, and then where commits that dude is responsible for a race war or some shit. Who knows how Esau is gonna frame this thing? But hey, Esau may use that as well. Start a race war, and then the Hebrew Israelites are blamed. Because racial tensions are also trending, and they're also blaming Jake for this anti-Asian, anti-Moabite hate. There was an event where Jake, they said Jake beat up this Moabite. So hey, the narrative is being set. Oh, Jake is the problem. It's leading up to this. Verse 20, when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is not. Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. Verse 21, then let them which are in Judea flee unto the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter Salakia thereinto. Verse 22, for though these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Because hey, Esau Edom, man, Esau Edom, that's the sword. Esau Edom is a spirit created for vengeance on you 2/3. Verse 23, but woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. Verse 24, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword. And this part right here is talking about 7 AD. Being led away captive into all nations. It's talking about 70 AD. But yeah, Jerusalem shall be trodden down of them. Well, that's talking about 70 AD. Talking about the place Jerusalem and the people. And the people. We've been getting trodden down by these heathens. Getting trodden underfoot. Verse 25. But hey, actually, in a way, you have foreign. This is going to kind of be fulfilled again, because you have foreign troops that's on Babylonian soil. So you have Russian troops here. You have Chinese Moabite troops here. You have German troops here, which those are Edomites too. Yeah, you have these UN troops here. These Gurkha troops here that are ready. They're training right now. They're training to to come in like a flood when Esau gives the green light. Verse 25, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Verse 26, men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. See, hey, Jacob's trouble, a time like no other, right? Hey, what is it? The time spoken about in Daniel 12. Verse 1, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth up for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. So at that time, that time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. At that time, hey, the elect is going to be delivered. Everyone that shall be found written in the book. So hey, the elect is already being woken up. It's been being woken up. So, we're close to that time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation. We're heading into that time, which is why you see these devils making these moves. But yeah, because this devil is trying to save his queendom from falling. Hey, but the fact that he's making those moves and the fact that we're waking up is a sign that this devil is through. And so, verse 2, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall wake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt, which that's talking about the 2/3 versus the 1/3. Yeah, you know that this is what Esau fears. He fears the elect waking up, and so he's been trying to stop it. And by the time he gets around to actually doing something, it's gonna be too late, because he ain't been allowed to touch the elect. The elect has we've been getting protected. We've been in witness protection. Hold on, okay, I'm dealing with the affliction. And it's gonna be evident whenever these devils roll. All right, so I hope this live was edifying. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Shemi Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim, spreading this truth like wildfire. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners who look like the other nations, but their spirit bears witness that they're the children of Yahweh Hashem Shai, and shalom to the real sisters out there. I'm gonna check and see if there's anything else to go into, but if there's not, yeah, I think I was gonna go into that U.S. Capitol lockdown shit during the last live, but you know what happened? I told y'all. All right, hold on. All right, shalom. We almost at the end. Stay strong until the very end, cause hey, you stay strong until the very end. Hey, you're gonna be delivered. You part of that number. That's when you're gonna find out. Stay strong. So stay strong until the end. Look up, for thy redemption is nigh. Esau, you're through. It's over for you. No more. No more. No great reset for you. It's over. You had your time. You other heathen nations had your time too. No, y'all ain't getting another turn. It's Yasharalah's turn. And Yasharalah's turn is gonna last forever. So, hey, Shalom, stay strong. Stay strong. Hey, Abba Ball, death to this place. Sooner it comes, the better. We're hastening into that day. Shalom, and stay strong, Yasharallah forever.